Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of CWN Predicts, the AEW Full Gear 2020 edition. And before I go into that, I just want to say if I had an American flag right now, I would be swinging it or rocking it behind me or draped over my shoulders, whatever the case may be. I don't have an American flag, but what I do have is a Boston Red Sox nice hat on top of my head there. The B stands for Boston, but it also stands for Biden. And as of this morning, as of a couple seconds ago, NBCnews.com, 279 to 214 for Biden. And I had posted on my Facebook that basically, if I was an American, I would definitely be a Democrat. So one down with Trump out of the White House. And here in Canada, here in Ontario, we just got to get Ford out of the House of Commons, so to speak, and get rid of him as well. And I think the election for Canada is taking place in about 2 years or so. So anyways, but yeah, Biden, the B. Anyways, congrats to him. And it looks like we're going to have a president down there in the United States that's actually going to make sense and look actually like a president and not like a pumpkin. So anyways, enough about that. This is the AEW Full Gear 2020 CWN Predicts, like I said before. So AEW Full Gear 2020 taking place live tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. on Fight and BR Live up here in Canada. The pre-show, so the buy-in as they call it, taking place 7 o'clock tonight. That is on BR Live, Fight, as well as YouTube. And then just before I went on the air, I saw this, and that is the red carpet special, I think they're calling it. That takes place 6 o'clock tonight. And that is on YouTube. So 6 o'clock tonight, looks like everything's taking place. And then I don't know about the red carpet special, whether or not it's going to be an hour. I can't see it. Probably be half an hour. So 6:30 to 7, you'll have a good break to get some munchies, whatever the case may be. And then 7 o'clock, the buy-in takes place. So without any I'm stumbling my words. I'm too excited about the U.S. election. Anyways, but like I said, the buy-in takes place 7 o'clock tonight. And this is the prediction show. So I'm going to go through my predictions. One match taking place on the buy-in, which was announced this week. So we got Serena Deeb as NWA Women's World Champion, defending the belt against Allison Kay, former women's champion there for the NWA. This match was not announced, like I said, until this week. It was kind of ironic because the fact is Allison Kay had come out and said that she was a free agent, and next thing you know, she's being booked for the AEW pay-per-view. So Serena Deeb is champion. She ended up beating Thunder Rosa not too long ago. So it's going to be an interesting match. I can't say I can see Allison Kay basically winning the championship yet. Not sure what the future holds for her as far as the wrestling business goes. Nothing has come out and says that, Allison Kay is all elite. But again, it's still NWA ground, so to speak. But in this one, I see Serena Deeb retaining the NWA Women's World Championship against Allison Kay tonight. And it'll be interesting to see where Allison Kay goes from here. So Serena Deeb with the win. Then we go into Full Gear, the actual main card itself. And that is taking place 8 o'clock tonight, like I said, BR Live as well as Fight. And we got 8 matches taking place on the main show. The original buy-in match was Orange Cassidy as well as John Silver. Not a big fan of John Silver. Don't get me wrong. I think he's got a lot of technical ability in this and that, but I feel he's too small. There are guys out there that were smaller in size, like Taz, Rey Mysterio, obviously. And the fact is, they took a while to grow on me, as well. And maybe John Silver will. But the fact is, I'm not buying it yet. He's a gifted athlete, but I'm not digging, so to speak, the guys, the smaller guys in AEW as of yet. The Marco Stunts, the John Silvers. They had somebody on AEW Dark last night who went up against Griff Garrison. And to me, it's not true wrestling. And in saying that, I'm not a big fan of Jonathan Gresham either. I know he's ROH Pure Champion, but the fact is, when it comes down to it, the smaller wrestlers haven't grown on me yet. Like I said, there are exceptions with Rey Mysterio, Taz. But in saying that, I'm going to put Orange Cassidy over in this one. I love the Dark Order. I love them as a gimmick. I love them as a whole. But the fact is, Orange Cassidy, I think, has much more to offer winning this match, especially considering the fact he beat up on Jericho at the last pay-per-view, in the Mimosa Mayhem match. So I'm going to say Orange Cassidy for win in this one here. Next match of the night, Should be interesting because it's a theatric match. It's taking place at the Hardy Compound. Tony Khan had mentioned that on AEW Unrestricted on Thursday, but Matt Hardy taking on Sammy Guevara in the Elite Deletion match. So if you guys have ever seen any of the Hardy matches before at the Compound, it's very interesting. It's kind of was the I guess the initial kind of cinematic match that was put out there that kind of put the Hardys over when they were back in Impact Wrestling. The fact is, Matt Hardy doesn't need the win. So I'm going to say Sammy Guevara with the win in this one. They're building him like a future star as long as Sammy can keep his mouth shut at times, you know. But the fact is, when it comes down to it, yeah, Sammy Guevara, I think bragging rights wise, to come out of this one and basically say, hey, Matt Hardy, I beat you at your own match at the Hardy Compound, so to speak. So I can see Sammy Guevara getting basically a push as far as this goes. Darby Allin's in the mix, and there'll be a match coming up later on what I talk about there. But the fact is, Sammy Guevara put him in that TNT Championship run. I think it starts tonight. I think, like I said, him over Matt Hardy as far as the Elite Deletion match goes. So that is my prediction there. Next match listed, Chris Jericho versus MJF with Wardlow. Stipulation is if MJF wins, he's allowed to join the Inner Circle. If you saw AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday, you would have seen Jericho calling him soft. That's MJF. MJF and Wardlow go out. They win the match. MJF ends up putting Ortiz in the Salt of the Earth, the submission move. Ortiz ends up tapping. And then MJF goes towards the back, goes up the entrance ramp. And before he goes to the back, he attacks Jericho, who's on commentary. And Jericho's got that kind of that wicked smile on his face and kind of like, hey, he's got some, he's not being soft, so to speak. So where do we go with this? Rumor has it that MJF is eventually going to take over the Inner Circle. So whether or not he does it tonight, he's not. I don't think he's going to take it over tonight. I simply think the fact when it comes down to it, I think MJF is going to win tonight, get into the Inner Circle, and then create chaos while he's in there. So starting point is tonight. Not sure how he's going to do it. I think there's going to be interference. I don't think it's going to be a clean victory. And Jericho wants that. He wants that kind of integrity. He wants that grunt work, so to speak, going into the Inner Circle. Much the same. He talked about Santana Ortiz, Guevara, as well as Hager. And the fact is, MJF, especially with Wardlow by his side, I think MJF ends up in the Inner Circle. The only other option would be if Wardlow turned on MJF. And that might happen within the Inner Circle itself. Wardlow's got huge world championship future. MJF as well. I just think Wardlow's going to get there first. But that's kind of a scenario there that I don't think is going to happen tonight. It would be cool if I was booking, but like I said, I don't think it's going to happen tonight. So I'm going to say MJF with the win in this one, but I don't think he's going to do it cleanly. Next match of the night, Adam Page, Hangman taking on Kenny Omega, AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament Finals match. So winner goes on to face either Moxley or Eddie Kingston for the championship. You have two former tag team champions going at it here. Obviously, you saw there's a little bit of kind of I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of right now. But they were on AEW Dynamite together, saving Matt Jackson. And all of a sudden, they didn't seem to hate each other. And it's like all of a sudden, hey, wait a second, we're feuding this coming Saturday for a title opportunity. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. I'm biased. I'm going to say I want Omega to win, but he's already been there. Hangman was in the tournament finals against Jericho, if you remember, for the inaugural AEW World Championship. So he has been there before. Without the fans, Adam Page, Hangman doesn't have he's not as over as he would be if there was like a full arena. Now, in saying that, they have said there's going to be 1,000 fans in attendance tonight. So he will get that pop, and it'll be interesting because I think Omega, the way he beat up on Sonny Kiss, the way he beat up on Pentagon, it'd be interesting because I think everybody sees him going for the AEW World Championship, but is now the time? Or do we see Hangman end up winning? But if we see Hangman winning, is he going to do it cleanly? There was a lot of talk as far as Hangman and Kenny Omega and the stables and all this sort of stuff. And Omega is always going to be the elite. He's always going to be with the Young Bucks. He's always going to be associated with them. Excuse me. So with this here, do we see Omega, basically form an alliance with the Young Bucks tonight? And there is so much to this pay-per-view that it's going to be very interesting. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Adam Page loses tonight based on the fact that we have a heel turn basically by Omega. And like I said, the alliance with the Young Bucks there, as they are known as the Elite. So I'm going to say Adam Page loses. Kenny Omega advances to face whoever the champion is going to be. Next match is a championship match. Hikaru Shida taking on Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero. Singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. I'm going to say, as much as Nyla Rose has put herself back in the title picture, I don't think tonight's the night. I don't know who Hikaru Shida feuds with after this, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Hikaru Shida retains, and that's the end of Nyla Rose for the year. So Hikaru Shida with the victory there. Cody with Arn Anderson versus Darby Allin, a singles match for the TNT Championship. This is going to be interesting. Darby, I think, definitely deserves a title run, but I don't think it's going to be tonight. Cody had just won that title back. It's Cody Rhodes. He's got too much hype. He is the face, so to speak, of the company, of that championship. And as much as I'd like to see Darby win and basically AEW start putting those titles on guys that weren't former WWE guys, I don't think tonight is the night. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Cody with the victory to retain the championship, and then we'll have to wait and see where it goes from there. And you never know. Maybe Cody's part of that mix too with the Young Bucks as well as Kenny Omega. I mean, obviously the EVPs of AEW. So, it'll be interesting there. Next match of the night is could potentially be the main event, but it's been announced it's not. But we got FTR, Cash Wheeler, Dax Hardwood as champions with Tully Blanchard, who is not going to be at ringside because, he has been banned from ringside based on the fact that he has been part of the feud too much. He's obviously was initially responsible for what took place as far as Matt Jackson's ankle, so to speak. So Tully Blanchard has been barred from ringside. Doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to interfere, but it won't be Tully Blanchard as far as FTR goes. Now, this is a match. This is a feud that has been taking place for a couple of years, and we finally get in the match tonight. Only downside about it is if you read reports, even on CWNonline.ca, ACL, MCL of Matt Jackson, he's injured right now, beyond the fact that he's got a back injury that's been nagging him for the past couple of years. If you had the chance to listen to CWN Weekly episode number 12, you would have heard my thoughts on Matt Jackson and, basically enjoy the Young Bucks while you can, because I think Matt Jackson is not going to be wrestling 5 years from now. I think his body is it's breaking down on him. So in saying that, what I said earlier with regards to Kenny Omega, put FTR as the baby faces. And unless they form the alliance with Sean Spears tonight, if Sean Spears, because he's part of that Tully Blanchard thing, he comes out and ruins it for the Young Bucks. So I'll automatically have Sean Spears and say FTR would be feuding at this point down the line with Kenny Omega as well as the Young Bucks. So, I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do. But I'm going to say this, babyface wise, I'm going to say FTR end up becoming babyfaces as far as this feud goes. I'm going to say the Young Bucks tonight win the championships based on, I don't think it's going to be a clean wrestling match. I think it's going to be interference. I think we might see Kenny Omega, be part of that. And I think, like I said, with Tully Blanchard out, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sean Spears down there at ringside as well. And that would play into Cody Rhodes as well and the feud that Sean Spears and Cody have had in, the chairman gimmick. The other thing as well, Young Bucks have said if they don't win tonight, that is it. They will never challenge for the championship again. It's not like, AEW is going to come out this week or before the end of the year and say, hey, we're now presenting the AEW United States Tag Team Championships or the Junior Heavyweight Championships or whatever the case may be. That is not going to happen. So it's one and done for them tonight. And I think they're going to basically take that victory and the Young Bucks as new champions. And like I said, the alliance with Kenny Omega, I think, is going to play out tonight. And like I said, I think Sean Spears will be part of this match as well. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Cody part of this somehow as well. But we'll have to wait and see. So main event time, Jon Moxley, champion, taking on Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match for the AEW World Championship. I tell you this, I was interested in the pay-per-view itself, just as a whole. And then you watch the promo between Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley from this past Wednesday. And basically just the two guys, being, just basically saying, hey, we used to be friends. We're no longer friends. After 18 years, you're finally getting a title shot. This is coming from Mox, by the way. And all of a sudden, they're selling it, and they're selling it like it's a personal feud that has existed outside of the business. You know what I mean? And to me, as a wrestling fan, I'm invested in it. I'm like, now I want to see these guys go at it. I want to see Kingston basically kick Moxley's butt, because of basically Moxley putting him down and saying, hey, I've gotten here way before you, and now you've waited 18 years, and now's your chance, but, you kind of still suck. So Moxley kind of made me turn against him in that promo for all the right reasons as a wrestling fan, though. So I'm going to say Eddie Kingston, John Moxley, it's going to be one heck of a match. I don't think Kingston's going to go over, because I think they're going to elevate Kingston. Obviously, he's got, the alliance there with Pentagon Jr., as well as Phoenix, as well as the Butcher Blade and the Bunny. That feud is a strong, sorry, not the feud, but the group is a strong group. Obviously, I Quit match, no rules, no disqualifications. Moxley's not really aligned with anybody, so the fact is, don't be surprised if we see Kingston, have all four of those guys come out and take part and try to put Moxley out. But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think he's going to be strong enough, so to speak. So when it comes down to it, Moxley's going to retain. I think Kingston's going to give one hell of a fight, the fight of his life. I think Moxley, probably on Dynamite next week, is going to come out and basically congratulate Kingston for basically giving him the fight of his life and elevating him and putting him over in this and that. But anyways, yeah, so I see Moxley retaining. So it's going to be an interesting pay-per-view, interesting main event. But like I said, Moxley, I see retaining to in this match here, the I Quit match, which is going to be, I wouldn't be surprised they go 30 minutes with this one there. So guys, that is it for my prediction. So like I said, Serena Deeb to retain the NWA Women's World Championship. Orange Cassidy to win, Sammy Guevara to win, MJF to win, Kenny Omega to win, Hikaru Shida to win. I put Cody to win as well. I've got Young Bucks as new tag team champions, and then Moxley to retain the AEW World Championship there. So like I said, guys, AEW Full Gear 2020 taking place tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Fight as well as BR Live. We get the buy-in taking place 7 o'clock p.m. tonight, BR Live, Fight as well as YouTube. That is free. And then basically the red carpet special, the red carpet event, as they're calling it, 6 p.m. tonight on YouTube. So, guys, a lot of wrestling taking place tonight as far as AEW goes. So that is it for the prediction show. I'll be back later tonight with the recap show. So that'll be about 11 o'clock, 11:15-ish, depends on when the pay-per-view goes off the air. Time to set up. So usually I go 15, 20 minutes after the pay-per-view is ended. But it should be interesting. Guys, you have my predictions. If you have any feedback for me, feedback at cwnonline.ca or chris@cwnonline.ca. Let me know your thoughts, your predictions as well. If you're watching on YouTube, hit me a thumbs up or subscribe. Facebook as well. Twitch, not sure how Twitch works as far as the thumbs up and stuff like that goes, but I guess I get view counts. And then, like I said, tonight, the recap show taking place live, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube about 11:15-ish, depending on when the event goes off the air. So, guys, at Chris Maloney, CWN, you can check me out on Twitter as well as Instagram. And like I said, I'll be back later tonight with the recap show. And enjoy the event, guys, because it's going to be one of the, I think, the best of the year as far as the matches, the stipulations go, and just the hype surrounding it as well. So once again, congratulations, Joe Biden, new president of the United States. Happy about that. American relatives and friends down there, they seem to be happy as well. So it'll be an interesting 4 years to see where the states go. And like I said, we just need to get forward out of here in Ontario, and I'd be happy with that. But guys, enjoy the show tonight and look for the recap show taking place later tonight. That is it for now. See you guys in a bit.